What is going on, OJ's Mafia guys? How are the people doing, man? I hope you guys are all doing well. And this weekend we have UFC Fight Night, Roman Dolidze versus Nassim Imavov in the main event, guys. This is a pretty mid-tier card, but listen, bro, I'm excited to give out my predictions to the gang. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys that are tuning into the prediction videos, guys. We're gonna make sure we try and get as many picks as possible. This is a bit of a tricky card to predict, but without further ado, man, we're gonna get straight into it in the heavyweight division, guys. We have Thomas Peterson taking on Jamal Perks for the first fight of this Fight Night card, guys. And Jamal Perks will be coming in as a slight underdog here. I'm going to go with Thomas Peterson here, as you can see by these guys' physiques, or what you can see. I think Thomas Peterson, low-key is kind of athletic for a heavyweight, and he's 8-1, man. He does look very promising. His only losses to Waldo Cortez Acosta, I believe. Not a bad loss to have. Jamal Perks, I've seen this guy fight once, and he looked absolutely atrocious. Currently 1-1 in the UFC. I don't have too much faith in Jamal Perks, so I'm going to go with Thomas Peterson by submission here in the second round, or he might get a decision win. I just think, Peterson actually has some type of finishing ability in the heavyweight division, and he kind of looks promising, unlike Jamal Perks. So the pick here, it's pretty fucking obvious we're going with Thomas Peterson, lads. Alright, guys, we're going to move on to the second fight of the night. Second fight of the card, Landy Quinones versus Markel Medeiros in the lightweight division. This is going to be a very interesting fight, guys. Now, I've been thinking of picking Landy Quinones for a while now, but I'm going to go with Markel Medeiros by decision here. I really just see this fight being a high-level kickboxing match where these two are just trying to really just outstrike each other and kind of, beat each other up when it comes to striking and trying to, outclass each other on the feet. I think Lenny Quinones, he looked pretty solid in his debut against Nasrat Haqparast, but I do think that Marco Medeiros is a prospect to look out for. He came off a really brutal knee KO on the Dana White Contender Series, and I'm just going to ride with that momentum, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people that are backing Markel Medeiros. I honestly haven't seen too much of him other than that knee KO he got on the Dana White Contender Series. I was very impressed with Lenny Quinones, putting up a good fight against Nasrat Haqparast in his debut. Short notice too. But I'm just going to rely on Marco Medeiros to get this one done by decision. I think he's just going to kind of outpoint Lenny Quinones. And apparently he's a Golden Gloves boxer or some shit like that, which is very intriguing. So I'm going to sit back and watch this fight. I'm really looking forward to this particular fight. But give me Markel Medeiros by decision. The next fight on this card, guys, we have a women's MMA fight with Julie Gia Storyalenko. I don't even know how you say her name. Juliana Storyalenko versus Luana Carolina. This is a very 50-50 fight. I don't really care about this fight. So I'm going to go with Stolarienko by submission. Holy shit, dude. I can't even say her name. Luana Carolina, she's decent, but this is women's MMA at the end of the day, and it doesn't really make sense. So I believe that Stolarienko, she will be able to just grab her, and the moment she grabs her, she'll probably be able to submit her with like an armbar or something crazy like that. So I'm just gonna go with Stolarienko by decision, or like a submission. I don't give a shit, dude. Alright guys, we move on to the fourth fight on this card. Jung Yong Lee taking on Blake Builder in the featherweight division. This is a fight that I am pretty excited about. Now, I have thought for a while about picking Blake Builder here. He's 8-1-1. He's predominantly like a grappler, and he's got, decent boxing, but I just don't trust him enough, to pick him against a guy who's kind of surging through Korea like a guy like Lee. I'm just gonna call this guy Lee because I can't be bothered fucking saying his whole name. But I've watched some tape on Lee, man, and this guy is he's sharp, man. He's got really sharp striking, good combinations, good straight punches down the middle, and he seems like he has pretty good takedown defense, and he seems very like veteran savvy. He knows what he's doing in certain positions. Good ground game too, pretty good jiu-jitsu. Nice arm bars that I've seen. So honestly, I think if Blake Builder's not able to get the takedowns, I think he's gonna get outworked here. I think Lee's a pretty fucking sharp fighter, man. I do like watching this guy fight. I saw his highlights and I'm like, damn, bro, this guy is like fucking, this guy's knocking people out. He's putting them hands on people, man. So he's clean with it. Like I said, I've wanted to pick Blake Builder for a while, but I can't go against this guy, from Korea who's on a surge. He looks pretty promising. I will be a bit pissed off if Blake Builder wins, because that was my original pick, but who gives a shit, man. I'm going to go with Jin Yong Lee by decision, like a 29-28 decision. I think it might be a pretty competitive fight, but give me Jung Yong Lee by decision, man. Guys, we move on to the main event of this fight. I'm just joking with you guys. This is not the main event, but we have a welterweight fight between Temba Garimbo and Pete Rodriguez. Now, my prediction here, guys, I was going with Temba Garimbo for a while, but then I kind of realized that Temba Garimbo is very, like, mid at best. He's not that good, and neither is Pete Rodriguez, but I honestly, see Pete Rodriguez knocking out Temba Garimbo in probably 2 rounds. The way that I see this fight going down, guys, is Temba Garimbo, he might be able to get a takedown on Pete Rodriguez, but it's either a Timber submission or a Pete Rodriguez knockout, and I'm gonna rely on Pete Rodriguez to get the knockout here. You know, a lot of people think that Rodriguez doesn't have a ground game, but I saw on his Instagram that he had a gi on when he was like a kid, so I assume he has been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time, so he does know something about the ground. Temba Garimbo is just mid as fuck, dude. I mean, if he can't take down Pete Rodriguez, I think he's just gonna get the shit beat out of him on the feet. And this is, not my underdog of the card, but this is an underdog that I'm gonna pick with Pete Rodriguez by knockout. I mean, Pete Rodriguez looked okay against Jack Della before he got knocked out. He was landing on Jack Della a fair bit, and I do think he's got some good hands, man. I think he's gonna present some trouble to Temba Garimbo, and I'm gonna pick him by a second round TKO or a first round TKO. So lock it in, folks. In the flyweight division, Azat Moksum, who is undefeated at 17-0, will be taking on Charles Johnson, who is currently, as of right now, I believe, on a 3-fight losing streak. Holy shit, dude, that's not good. So my prediction for this fight, I'm impressed with Azat Moksum. This guy has really, really good boxing, really good straight punches down the middle. I've seen a lot of footage on him where he's just knocking people out with straight punches. He's got a really nice straight hand that, just somehow fucking touches people and then knocks them out. And at the same time, he's got really good sweeps, throws, like really good reverse throws. He's pretty good, man. He's undefeated for a reason. But I think Charles Johnson is a problem for him, man. I really do. As at Moksum, his debut fight in the UFC, he went to a split decision with Tyson Nam, which is not the best look, I will be honest. But I do think that he should get past Charles Johnson. I mean, Charles Johnson has taken another short notice fight. Just not a good look for him. And I don't know what he's doing here. I mean, realistically, he could win this fight by outstriking Azat Moksum, but even if he's outstriking Azat Moksum, I think this Kazakhstani dude is going to be able to just get his takedowns and, kind of just like beat the shit out of Charles Johnson, kind of just dominate him from pillar to post from each round. I'm going to go with Azat Moksum by 29-28 unanimous decision, but I'm not too confident, man. I will be on. We move on to the last fight on the prelims, guys. This will be the featured prelim. Diana Belbita will be taking on Molly McCann in the strawweight division. My only concern is, why is this the featured prelim fight? This is a disgrace. Regardless, though, I will be honest with you guys. I'm going to go with Molly McCann here. I don't really see too much happening in this fight. I think both of them are just going to go toe-to-toe. Diana Belbita, she eats a lot of punches, bro. She has no head movement. She just kind of walks forward and just kind of takes shots. And Molly McCann is not really that good either, but I'm just going to trust her to kind of just box Diana Belbita's face off. So I'm going to go on Molly McCann by decision. I don't care, bro. I really don't care. Guys, we have made it to the main card. It's time to give out the main card predictions, but I can't even speak, bro. Before we get into it, make sure you help me out. Go down below, smash the like button. I really do appreciate it, guys. And to anyone that does watch these prediction videos, I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are getting the best insight, the best predictions on MMA YouTube. But on a serious note, we're going to get straight into it. The first fight, main card. In the 170-pound division, welterweight division, we got Gilbert Urbina taking on Charles Radke. And I like Gilbert Urbina in this fight, man. My prediction is Gilbert Urbina. Honestly, I don't really see that much in Charles Radke, right? He's a grappler who has decent submissions. He's able to control people with positions. He kind of just he literally shoots for takedowns. He tries to just keep you against the cage and do his work from there. But I think Gilbert Urbina is gonna, be a lot fucking bigger than Charles Radke. He's 6'3". Radke's like 5'10". A lot of people say that Radke's a dog and he's tough, and I agree. I do agree, he's not going to quit in this fight, but I think Gilbert Urbina is going to really chop him down with the leg kicks, the teeps, the body kicks. I mean, I think Urbina is a great striker. He had his UFC debut against Brian Battle, took the fight on very short notice. I think it was like 2 days' notice. He ended up losing that fight by submission, but regardless, man, he looked good in that fight early on. And I'm going to trust him to kind of just piece up Charles Radke. The way that I see this fight really going down, all right? Charles Radke is going to try and shoot takedowns, try and knock out Gilbert Urbina, which I just don't see happening unless Gilbert Urbina tries to brawl. I mean, I do think Urbina has a little bit of a suspect chin, but I don't see him getting, tagged in this fight too much. I see him keeping it at range, poking Charles Radke with the kicks. And I'm going to go with Charles Radke getting knocked out in the third round. I think Urbina's going to put that mustard on him. I can see Urbina getting the job done in the third round, via body kicks. Maybe even a decision win. I could be completely wrong here. Maybe Charles Radke goes out here, gets a submission, even knocks out Gilbert Urbina. But I like Gilbert Urbina in this fight, guys. And I'm going to say, give me Gilbert Urbina by third round TKO or a 29-28 decision win. Guys, let me know what your predictions are down below. I'd love to hear it. In the middleweight division, guys, we have a clash between Mahmoud Muradov versus... I don't even know how you say this guy's name, dude. I'm just going to double check real quick. Alishgab Kaziriev. Alright, I'm going to call him Kaziriev from now on. I've never seen Kaziriev fight, I will be honest with you. I haven't seen too many highlights on him either, but I do believe that he is a guy who really likes to push the takedowns, really just try to take you down immediately and submit you. And he does have pretty good striking as well. I don't know if he's a kicker or a boxer too much. I should have done my research. I apologize. But all I know is Makhmud is a good striker, man. This guy has good kicks, good punches, good combinations. He's a pretty decent striker, but he has a lot of holes in his grappling. And if we know one thing about Kizriev, the Black Wolf, he is an excellent grappler. This guy can take you down, submit you pretty easily. Very strong guy. He's able to hold you down. You're just going to be able to do nothing about it. So Makhmud I would pick him in this fight, but like I said, just he really lacks that grappling defense, and I think Alisgab Kizriev is pretty fucking good, man. Undefeated for a reason. So the way that I see this fight going down, lads, I think Kizriev's gonna just march down Muradov. Even if he's getting hit a lot, I think he's just gonna take down Muradov straight away. He's going to be a lot smaller in this fight. That's my only concern. But I do see him just kind of slamming down Muradov and just getting those hooks in. Whether he controls him to a decision win or he gets a first round submission, I'm going to go with a second round submission for Alisgab Kizriev. I just think Makhmud Muradov, too many holes in his grappling. He's going to get, found out eventually. He's been submitted by Gerald Mearshart, got held down by Kyle Barajo. I think he's going to struggle with another grappler. So let's get it. I'm going to go with Kizriev by submission. Alright guys, the next fight, we're back in the welterweight division and we have Randy Rude Boy Brown taking on Muslim, the King of Kung Fu Salikov. Now this should be a very intriguing fight. I'm looking forward to this matchup. Muslim Salikov is an old man. That's the first thing I want to get to. He's 39 years old, almost 40. I don't even know how he's still in the UFC, but regardless, Randy Brown is, he was on a streak, and then he lost to Jack Della Maddalena. He came back and beat Wellington Turman, but it was a very iffy performance, a very gutsy performance to say the least. But my prediction for this fight, guys, I'm going to go with a lot of other people here. I'm going to pick Randy Brown by decision, a 29-28 decision. I do believe that, he might get dropped in the first round. He might even lose the first round. I just see him being able to really control the range and control the fight for the next 2 rounds. Throw a lot of kicks, a lot of jabs. One thing that I worry about for Randy Brown is he's very heavy on that lead leg. He likes to box and kind of, throw jabs and have a boxing style which relies on having, heavy legs on the ground. And Muslim Salikov is a big kicker, man. This guy kicks the shit out of people. So I'm worried that Muslim Salikov could kick Randy Brown's leg out really badly and kind of, accumulate that damage on the leg to the point where Randy Brown can't really do much. He can't really even move properly, and then Muslim Salikov knocks him out. Maybe I'm overthinking a bit too much, but regardless, man, I'm going to trust in Randy Brown to be able to beat an old man, Muslim Salikov. I'm going to predict Muslim Salikov wins the first round, maybe gets a knockdown, and then Randy Brown will take the last 2 rounds pretty comfortably, kind of just pick and poke at range, throw a bunch of leg kicks, teeps, use his jab, use his range. I do believe he is the tallest, longest welterweight on the roster, so I believe he's going to use his advantages here. It's going to be a bit of a boring fight, but I think Randy Brown's going to do what he has to do, man. So give me Randy Brown by a 29-28 decision win, guys. Let me know who you got. Guys, we are at the co-main event of this fight night card. I'm looking extremely forward to this matchup. We have Renato Mani Moicano. He's going to be taking on Drew Giga Doba right now. As you can see by the odds here on Tapology, this is literally a 50-50 fight. This is a fucking insane fight. It's such an even matchup, dude. It's one of those close fights like DDP Strickland, but listen, man, I've been going back and forth for a long time now on this prediction. I had Drew Dober originally, but I'm liking Money Moicano here, man. I'm liking Renato Moicano to get the job done, and I will explain why, man. Drew Dober, he's got a lot of losses on his record. Not only that, but he's got a lot of losses on his record by submission. I mean, he got submitted by Islam Makhachev, no shame in that, but I'm looking back and he got submitted by Efrain Ascadero, got submitted by like some random guys, man, and it's a bit worrying. Renato Moicano is not only a good striker but an amazing grappler. His bread and butter is his grappling, his submission ability. Drew Doberman, I will say this, he has the ability to knock out Renato Moicano. Moicano does have a little bit of a sus chin, but at the same time, man, when Renato Moicano can grapple with you, when he can get a hold of you and stick to you like glue, he's a tough motherfucker to deal with. And, it might be a little bit tricky for him to get takedowns here because Drew Dober is a lot shorter. And when you're trying to take down shorter opponents as a tall guy, it's going to be a little bit tricky because that's just how gravity fucking works. But regardless, I just don't think Drew Dober's, going to get that elite win, against a guy like Renato Moicano. I think he's going to put some bombs on Moicano, but I also see Moicano just being able to take his back, get the hooks in, control him, get a body triangle in even. Listen, man, I think Drew Dober at times he fights a bit smart, and then he fights a bit stupid. He starts going for the kill, and you can't really make mistakes against Moicano because he's going to take your back and submit you. So my final prediction, guys, I don't mind if you're picking Dober by KO. It's not a bad prop. It's not a bad bet. He might get the job done. Like I said, this is a 50-50 fight. But give me Hanato Moicano by submission in the third round. I think this is going to be a war. I think, Moicano's going to eat a lot of shots, if he doesn't get knocked out. And eventually he will be able to find his bread and butter. He will be able to, grapple Drew Dober. And I see him submitting him with a rear naked choke, man. That's just how it is. Moicano is a really fucking good grappler. A lot of losses for submission by Drew Dober, man. It makes all sense. At the same time, MMA doesn't make sense, so fuck, man. It is what it is. Let me know what your predictions are down below. I'm going to go with Hanato Moicano by submission, bro. We're going to lock it in, alright? We are here for the main event, guys. Real quick before I make my prediction, I just want to say if you made it this far into the video, if you guys watch my prediction videos, I do appreciate each and every single one of you guys. This is not easy work, and at the same time, not many people watch prediction videos on MMA YouTube, so I really do appreciate the support, guys. But we're going to get straight into it, alright? We've got Nasruddin Imavov versus Roman Dolidze. Imavov will open up as the slight favorite at minus 150. Dolidze coming in as a plus 125 underdog. And my prediction here, guys, is I have to go with Nasruddin Imavov, man. I really don't know what people are picking, or I don't know what people are saying, trying to predict that Roman Dolidze is going to go in there and beat Imavov. Maybe he does, but I'm just going to say I think Imavov is the way better fighter. I think Imavov has so much talent. I would not be surprised if Nasruddin Imavov was a future top 5 middleweight. And the way that I see this fight really going, guys, is Imavov's going to be the way better striker here. He's way quicker, way more fluid, very technical, always in and out, very, very quick for a middleweight. As of Roman Dolidze, he's like 33, like 34. He's old, man. And not only that, but he's very slow. He's a guy that is big for the weight class, and he packs a lot of power, but he's very fucking slow. I mean, he lost to a striking match against Marvin Vettori, and that's how you know you're not really that good of a striker. Dolidze has knocked out Phil Hawes, which is, welcome to the club. Everybody's done that at this point. It's not really anything special. Imavov did lose to Phil Hawes back in the day, but I do believe that was not only a different Phil Hawes, but that was an inexperienced Nasruddin Imavov who had holes in his wrestling game. But I do believe if Imavov can just, shrug the takedown attempts off Roman Dolidze, if he's, careful with what he throws when he strikes, if he's out here throwing kicks, like if he's out here throwing kicks, teeps to Roman Dolidze, I have a bad feeling that Roman Dolidze will be able to catch one of his kicks and kind of take him down and submit him. I mean, Dolidze does have a pretty good ground game, but it's a little bit overrated. It's not really like the craziest thing. But I do worry that if this fight goes to the ground, it's going to favor Dolidze a lot. But regardless, man, I just see Nasruddin Imavov picking and poking at Roman Dolidze for 5 rounds straight. I mean, Imavov went the full distance with Sean Strickland. He won the 5th round against Sean Strickland. He looked pretty good in that fight despite losing. And that's a big fucking sign that, he can go 5 rounds in general. Dolidze has never gone 5 rounds. This guy looks like he's probably going to gas out within 3 rounds. And I really just see Imavov putting on a masterclass here, man. I'm a big fan of Imavov. Really good striker, really good takedown defense in general. Just a really well-rounded, complete mixed martial artist, unlike Roman Dolidze. So I'm going to go with Nasruddin Imavov by a 49-46 decision victory. Or I might even say he gets like a 4th round TKO on Roman Dolidze, while Dolidze is gassing out, having a lot of trouble. But lock it in, folks. I'm going to go with Nasruddin Imavov here. I think he's the better striker. I think he can stuff the takedowns of Roman Dolidze. Because let's be real, Dolidze has to get this fight to the ground if he wants any chance to win. It's really just a striker versus grappler. And even if Dolidze is throwing, big shots on Nasruddin Imavov, I don't see Imavov, being the type of guy to shoot a takedown because he will get submitted. And I've never seen Imavov, desperately shoot for a takedown. He's not that type of fighter. He's very composed on the feet, so I do see him putting on a masterclass here against Roman Dolidze. So I'll go with Imavov by decision. But guys, those are my predictions for UFC Fight Night, Nasruddin Imavov versus Roman Dolidze. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for watching the video as always. Make sure you drop a like down below. Comment your predictions, guys. I mean, I'm looking forward to this card, man. And I will be going live. I will be doing a fight companion. So make sure you guys come and say what's up. Take care, my brothers. Stay tuned. Oos.